Welcome, folks. Welcome back to In the Spirit of Things. It's Tuesday. I guess it's March 5th, last I looked. Glad everybody could join. Hey, we're going to continue on down the primrose path here, folks, so we can give you a little bit more clarity. We'll be dealing a little bit with slavery by consent, a little bit of freedom with responsibility, and what does it mean to be responsible for your actions. And we're going to cover a little bit of the latest updates on Brother John's court adventures in Canada. I like the way Brother Michael posts. It's an adventure. Hey, they used to tell me that in the Navy. It's not just a job; it's an adventure. Anyways, hey, that's the lie they sold to us. Anyways, but matter of fact, if anybody hasn't seen Brother John's case dismissed as a living beneficiary video, it's posted over at privatist.me. You can go find it. We have pretty much posting patterns on In the Spirit of Things. We have located at Blog Talk as well. Easy to get to. And, yeah, folks, if you want to be on the list to get these memos that we post out on what's going on and, you know, just to keep you in the loop, go ahead and get on the free portals at privatist.me. Yes, it is free to sign up. Anyways, with that being said, also, everything's getting a little bit more fluid, folks. It seems like my brothers and sisters are starting to wake up on a different level. But like I say, folks, we're going in a different direction. We don't go to war. For those who also haven't seen the new privatist.me debt termination video, it's also posted over on Blog Talk US on the cover page. Just look at it under debt termination. And it's a 12-minute overview of Brother Peter blathering on a little bit, but with a little direction of flow. Sort of picture-word association, because that's where I live. I go back to the 5-year-old mode because I can explain things really good with pictures and words. Anyways, I'm really glad that everybody's here tonight. We also have a new YouTube page. So, folks, a lot of creativity going on, and Brother Michael and I have been doing a lot of heavy lifting as well. We're finished up Australia, and we're fixing to help our brothers and sisters in the UK next. Folks, it's just a little paradigm shift. That's all it is. Anyways, I'm getting a little excited. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. Anyways, do I have some love on the phone tonight? Brother John and Michelle, are you in the loop?
Hey, how you doing, Pete?
How you doing, brother? Michelle, are you tardy or are you here?
I am here, sir. I'm all in.
Outstanding, outstanding. That'll be required a salute. I'll get it later. Anyways, hey, folks, we go to ground here. We have fun. Anyways, we're giving direction of flow. Anyways, Brother John, yeah, we're actually reworking your beautiful video that you caught in Canada. And we're doing a little redirection of flow. And, folks, we're going to have beautiful little annotations so you can understand exactly what's going on in the content in that actual video, because there's a lot of acknowledging and a lot of stuff going on with the judge, or there's a lot of bait and switch. He was trying to get Jacinth, basically, by calling her Mr. Arsenault at one point. He was trying to, pretty much, I think, bait her to come in and create a controversy with them. And, folks, this is what's called standing fast in the breach, but it's going in harmony. It's not going in war. You know, I've heard a couple war stories in the last couple of days from a brother of mine in Texas and another sister in California. Folks, they're going to test you. They're going to, especially when you start filing stuff into the cases and stuff like that. That's called traversing. That's called giving over jurisdiction. Folks, it's a rigged gig. It has nothing to do with civil or criminal. It never has. It's a bonding event. I did a 2-hour bond call on the front end over at privatist.me for anybody can access it and go listen to it. It's a really good overview, and it tells you exactly what's going on behind closed doors. And it's all about the estates. It's all about the trust. But this is the stuff they don't want us talking about. So that's exactly what I need to be talking about. But I'm not going to go into estate law or trust law at this point. But it started at your birth certificate, and then they keep going from there. You went to a public hospital, and take a look at the words they use. It's a state hospital, and that's how they created the state. Just put an E on front of it. It should be the state of Connecticut, and the state of California, because they're all operating in hypothecating the estates. Anyways, I don't want to go to the deep end on this tonight. It's just general overview. Brother John, what do you think about your video going out on in 5D and some other places, getting a little gravitational pull?
That's looking beautiful too. You got a great editor there. Beautiful video with the subtitles and stuff like that. Now people can really understand what's going on and see exactly what we did in that courtroom that day, and how to stay in honor and how to take over a court. And if they don't listen from there, well, then we have other avenues we can look at. So yeah, we're very happy. We're getting a lot of views. I think there was up to, between the two videos, about 1,100, 1,200 views in the last 3 days. So it's getting quite popular. People are really interested in this, so that's good. It's got a lot of momentum. Jesse's quite happy too, and she's here with us tonight too, and she'll give a little perspective on how she felt in court that day and the kind of empowering it was for her and stuff too. So
I'd like to have her share a little bit. Because it's always you and me dialogue, and
exactly.
She was on the front lines for sure, especially in that video, and she held her own. I was incredibly impressed. She wasn't arguing. She wasn't creating a warring environment. The judge was playing stuck on stupid. It was a beautiful thing, and she stood fast in the breach and just operated in peace and honor with integrity. And like I say, now I got two heroes. Both y'all heroes of mine, because I don't know if I could, because Peter's a mouthy sucker. I'm not the shy, quiet type. They would get me to probably traverse in about 3 seconds. So, because I'd be beating somebody's brakes off because I'd be going to show them the love in a different way. I'd be asking for bonds and stuff.
Well, we're all about the love, and I'll describe just that to you. She's like 95 pounds and about 5'3". Just a tiny little thing. And they definitely look at her with respect when she walks into that courtroom now. So here, I'll put her on the phone. I'll let her tell you a little bit how she felt.
Please, bring her in, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
Hi, how are
Jesse.
You? Hey, superstar.
Oh, well, I have to say that it definitely does feel good to know who you are and believe in yourself and stand up to the bullies in the playground, that's for sure.
Go ahead.
Walking into that courtroom that day, just seeing it, especially full of people, so exhilarating, especially seeing one of the lawyers we'd run into, the day previous to that, and he knew who we were, and then having the audience at the end of everyone's cases just kind of sitting there waiting. We were kind of fueled by it. We're like, oh, well, great, we've got more people to teach and show the love to today.
Yep.
So, we noticed definitely the fear in people. New prosecutors, you can tell that they haven't been out for a very long time, and they're trembling when they're speaking to the judge, and people are wondering why we're standing there and not seated like everybody else.
You non-subservient slave, you. What the hell's wrong with you, sweetie? You're supposed to bow down to that guy with the dress on? Anyways,
pardon me. I guess I didn't get that memo.
Oh, sorry. I'll send it out next week.
Jesse, didn't you know that you're free to do as they tell you?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm free, yes. Now I truly am free. I'm living what it's like to be free. It's a whole new feeling. I really do love my adversaries. The nefarious ones have taught me a lot about myself and about the system and about the game that we're in. And they taught me a lot about how to love. So I love on a whole new level.
Wow.
I'm able to be there in peace and in honor and truly love them. Like I look at them like, I feel sorry for you. I'm telling you, I know who I am, and you're not going to get me to back down. Once you get to a point where you've learned who you are and you believe in yourself, you can't go back to the old ways.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Right, that's fatal.
Yeah. How do you live with yourself after that? Truthfully,
Right.
You have to stay honorable, true to yourself. And now we just want to really help others. Like, that's really our goal in this, is we know that we're not the only ones that are going through this in a perspective. There's so many others and other stories that are likely even more tragic than ours. And we just want to be out there spreading the word and helping people in any way we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what keeps us strong, is being able to help others and hoping that others are getting the memo and getting the love, because we're bringing it. We're bringing the love. We're the cure.
Yeah, this is a foreign concept to pretty much the masses. I see the warring everywhere, and I'm trying to help bring people to ground. This is the whole point of us, like I say, setting up our beautiful little buffet table over at privatist.me, because this is where we can change, get the shift, i.e. Change what's in between the ears until we start there and change this warring concept, because that's how they get you to traverse. It's called being a belligerent. Like I say, that's why we cover information like if you're part of the body politic, to terminate that status. Simple little things that most people are unaware of that binds them up. Because I really believe that every court case that gets put in play, they're going to go see if you're double-minded. They're going to see if you're on the rolls, i.e. the voter rolls. And if you're part of the body politic as a 14th Amendment slave on the citizenship status, I know in your country, in Canada, it's different the way they do it there. They, I guess they enroll you by default. I don't know. But in USA Inc., you actually have to take a physical action, go down to the county municipality. They want the residents to vote. They want them to think that the vote actually counts. And, folks, that's the big smoke and mirror show. They're giving you information to make you think you have some sort of power, but you have absolutely nothing, because you gave over, because you registered. Matter of fact, Michael and I are going to actually cover a show specifically over at privatist.me probably in the next couple of weeks on registering versus recording. This will be a very important call, and because this is what my brothers and sisters really, like I say, they've got us doing all these acts and deeds and giving over on ourselves. So when you give over, it's sort of like my friend who went to court today. She gave over. She filed a boatload of papers into the system of records, and she showed them who she was by consent, by actually creating a controversy. I know these are foreign concepts. Anyways, I don't want to belabor them at this moment. I just want to sort of get some continuity of flow. We cover this a lot deeper over at my house. My house is at privatist.me. So, folks, you're welcome to come on in. Come on in. The water is fine. Anyways, Michelle, am I sort of resonating here? I mean, is what I'm saying resonating?
Of course it is. I think what makes what you and Michael are doing at privatist.me unique amongst all those who are paradoxically seeking freedom through war. We discussed this on last week's show with, filing these documents and getting a fee schedule and just fighting. The difference is that with what you're doing, that there is no fight. And I think what you're showing people is that they have a choice, and you're showing people that freedom goes hand in hand with responsibility. In other words, if and when you claim your freedom, you must know that there are responsibilities, and that we have to step outside of the me control systems, because the system is basically made to make us separated from our own self, and separated from others, and separated from this world, whereas we are all linked, and when we get out of the me of mine, my rights, my rights, me, mine, then we sort of get more into the mindset of my responsibilities to myself, my responsibilities to others, my responsibilities to others. So that's the difference. That is what makes you and Michael unique, and it's not a war. And if we choose to call it a war, it's a war being fought on other dimensions. It's a war being fought, in the etheric. It's a war of consciousness, and that's where I come from.
Yep. And thank you. I want to bring Justine back in. She really she got the vibe. I was getting the love vibe on how she's dealing with this issue instead of, like I say, going to war. Folks, you're getting proofs firsthand on a different level. Like I say, it's always tricks for kids with these folks. That's the objective. That's the goal. See, because these are just bad actors, and I'm going to cover this bad actor stuff a little further later. You have all these people running around in uniforms and guns, which would have absolutely no power in my world in any way, context, shape, or form if I didn't give it the power. But the problem is they think somebody died and left them king. They're not government. They're just bad actors working for a corporation for you to be a hypothecation event, and they think you're just a damn slave. I don't mean to be direct with this, but I guess I do, because, folks, they think you know nothing. They have taught you how to be very compliant via consent. They've started us at school age, marching you down the hall and get in line, blow a whistle, whatever,
salivating at the bells.
Yeah, it's a Pavlov's dog conditioning response. You gotta love it. We're changing all that, folks. That's why we're here. This is the whole point of what we're doing. Because until you know who you are, they think you're dead inside. They have you. Matter of fact, they classify it in all 50 states. I've covered this before. I've actually looked up in every state's codes. That's the way I do. Anyways, they're telling us straight up that we're operating in a dead entity capacity. That's why they want you to get a mouthpiece called a liar. I mean a lawyer. It's synonymous. Liar, lawyer. Attorney, attorn, to take from, to give to another. That's what the word attorney means. Folks, go ahead and look it up. I'm not kidding you. Sort of like commerce. They talk about commerce, and it's called intercourse. Yeah, folks, you're getting screwed without the KY. And I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, that's blunt. Sorry, I'm blunt. It's the only way I know how to bring it forward, because they think you want to give over a hypothecation event. So you give over via consent. So we're going to cover consent a little further more tonight. But I'd like to bring Justine back in. We have 9 minutes before the break, and I'd like to let her share a little more love, because I'm getting the love vibe. I'm getting all warm and fuzzy inside.
Oh, the warm and fuzzies.
I know you women are killing me.
It's our job, Peter. It's our job.
I know.
Definitely.
I love it. I know.
The world needs us.
Yep.
Well, it's easy to share the love at this point, and knowing who we are, we've gotten our power back. I'm not afraid. They don't have fear on me anymore. You can threaten what you like. Your intimidation and coercion will not work on me. You won't break me. I'm still going to love you. Hugs and kisses. Kill them with kindness, as they say, I suppose. But I stand fast, and I love them all. And one day we will have our children back, and we'll be vindicated, and we'll be helping others, and there'll be many more people sharing the love. And I can't wait for that day. It's going to be a glorious day.
Hell yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, Brother Peter's in his shift. I think I covered it a little bit last week, but folks, like I say, I'm not the same man I was 6 months ago. Stuff happens when you get your mind right, and you get this shift. It's a beautiful thing, and I get warm fuzzies from all over the world. People are sending me emails and sharing the love. It's like I call it the love bomb, and it blows up all over me, and it feels great. I'm still standing after the fact. It's not like a bouncing Betty in Vietnam, but anyways, I can deal with all the love bombs people can throw. See, because folks, that's what brings us to peace and harmony in our hearts. They don't want us talking about this. They want us in controversy. They want us creating conflict with each other. This is why we have borders. This is why they have separations. They keep us busy with the mundane. Citizen and republic and democracy, all these bogus terms that were just meant to separate us. So Anyways, I don't want to go into a diatribe, so I'm going to shut up. And I'm feeling the love vibe. I don't want to go in the rant vibe, folks. I know you've heard me rant before, and I'm an excellent ranter. I have skills beyond my own comprehension. I scare myself, but I want the love tonight. Anyways.
And that's why we joined Divine Province. To get with more like-minded people, to share the love, to kind of to start building more of a community of people that are like-minded and that have their minds right and have their hearts right and are willing to stand up for themselves and bring the truth and bring the light and bring the love onto everybody. It's time to love. The time for hating is over. It's a new birthing.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier said than done, especially when people are causing us a little duress. But it's how we deal with that energy, how we disperse it. Michelle and I have had some dialogue. I took Taekwondo for a couple of years, and dispersing the negative energy, i.e. Redirecting the flow. You don't have to take it internally. You disperse it elsewhere. So you use their energy. You
transform it.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Michelle, matter of fact, please banter on.
Sure. Yeah, we had a discussion a while ago about energies, and we were coming to this idea that it's on many levels. It's not just in the physical world that we're getting these attacks through the various systems, through court orders, and how do you call them, Peter? They want you to act. What is it? An invitation to.
Oh, they want you to accept their lovely offers.
Right. So we're getting that in this world, but it all happens on a different level. It happens in the mind, and it happens through the spirit also. It all has to do with awareness and where we put our awareness, where we put our focus. I think Jesse and John are great examples of spiritual warriors.
Yeah.
They get it on the spiritual, they get it in the mental, and they're enacting it in the physical. And I think all of those three have to be in line for that awareness to come through. I can be spiritually aware and meditating on a mountain off somewhere on my own, and that's great, for world peace and all kinds of things. That's fantastic. Yes, because I am creating those energies. It's a mental energy that I am putting out. We put out all kinds of vibrations every day, all of us, every single one of us. I'm putting out what I am thinking. I am putting out what I am speaking, because that's a vibration of sound. I'm putting out what I'm feeling in my heart, because the heart gives out a vibration also. So everything that I think, speak, feel, say, act is a vibration that I contribute to the all. And I was telling you how we're soaking in it.
Yeah.
Remember, I was giving sort of that analogy to that commercial. I don't watch TV, but I don't know if it's still on. It was a dishwashing detergent, and it was in a salon where you get your nails done or something, and the woman comes in, and there's Madge, and she says, "You're soaking in it." And that's just it. We are soaking in it. Everything that we contribute to this ether, call it the ether, the ethos, the universal mind. There are so many different words to describe it, but we're soaking in it. We create the weather, and so I can be on a mountaintop. Just getting back to that picture, praying for peace, doing meditations. That's fine, but you know what? I'm in this world. I'm a physical body in this world of materialism. I must bring that through action into the world. And because my spirituality is in line with why I'm here, then the actions will be guided. Conversely, if you have someone who has action, but it's not in line with his spirituality, that's where you get dissonance. It's not in line with the frequency somehow, and it's a contribution that causes an impedance. I know men don't like that word, but it's actually impedance, I think. Am I pronouncing it wrong?
No, that's the electrical term. That is 100%
correct. I wasn't sure.
Not impotence. That's impedance.
No, that's not what I was saying.
IMPEDENCE, I think, and
that's right.
Yeah.
Impedance, then, is that it?
Yeah.
Impedance.
Okay. Not impotence.
Okay, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
I think.
that's another
we'll do that
topic
on
altogether. That would probably be on my medical talk shows over at Privatus. Like I say, they've got us pretty much anesthetized most of the time, or they had us, like I say, I talked about the idiot box, all the diversions that keep us not looking at anything of substance, and it really does come down to substance, because the system was set up outside of itself with no substance, i.e. the currency system, the financial system. So it's just credits and digits, sort of on a computer screen, using and hypothecating through, i.e. probating the estate for every transaction you do. Matter of fact, if anybody hasn't seen my birth certificate bond or seen the 14-page information about the birth certificate securitization scam, you can get the downloadable PDF for free over at privatus.me. I started a curriculum back about 5 weeks ago, and I have everything posted up under the course, the 8-week course, and I was trying to pretty much get everybody to follow the bouncing ball, because folks, it's a lot of information, but at the same time, you have to, in order to get continuity of flow in your mind, you have to know how the game got started and how you got into it. So it's hard to free yourself from the chains that bind. And it's ironic because Michelle always talks about the chains, but she says, we're holding them up. We're not really chained. We're actually holding them up. I was talking a little bit about, it's called the Stockholm Syndrome. Folks, that's where you actually justify the bad behavior of the ones who are doing the dirty deeds, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that it's not going to have a positive outcome for you. That's how people go to jail. They consent. They have to consent. You have to give over. Folks, they do use manipulative techniques. They use sleight of hand. They use ecclesiastical law. It's like black magic. Those are dungeons. Those courts are banks, and you're the hypothecation event. They're looking for a willing victim, and that's really what all it comes down to. They're looking for a willing victim, and we give over because we don't know who we are. We're following this so-called, this is the way they told me to do it. Folks, that's the problem. Right. We went to sleep. We looked to other people to make responsible. Okay, I guess we're going to get into freedom with responsibility. Anyways, Michelle, I'm getting wound up. Take that away for me, will you?
Well, it's my sense is it's a collective psychosis, and we all believe in it because this is what we were raised in. We're soaking in it.
Yeah.
But when we have an awareness of what we're soaking in, then we have a choice. You and I were discussing last night until very late this book that I read last summer, and I would love to dive back into it again. The author is Paul Levy, Levy, and the title is Wetiko, Wetiko, the greatest epidemic sickness known to humanity. And he talks about the things that we discuss on many different levels. And I just want to quote something here from the book. And he's discussing the economy, and this, of course, is in quotes because it's not a real economy.
Right.
The economy, like apparitions of majestic castles in the sky, is a magical display that captivates and holds spellbound the credulous, semi-conscious masses who are more than willing, based on their childlike need to hope and believe in an authority outside of themselves, to give away their power so as to quell their fear.
Yep.
And he goes on, anyway, it's a great book, but I think this is what we're at. We have fear because we are induced to feel fear.
Yep.
And we look to an authority outside of ourselves because we no longer think or know that we have power, and we are made to believe in an authority outside of ourselves. And I don't like that word believe. I don't like that word faith. There's this song, everyone must know this song. It's Leonard Cohen's song, Hallelujah. And there are these lines, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. And for me, that just indicates how tenuous that word faith actually is. Your faith is strong, but you need proof. In other words...
Right, so that's an oxymoron. It's almost like sovereign citizen.
Right, exactly.
It's two diverse opposite paradigms. It doesn't fit. It's
right. It's a contradiction.
It's
a contradiction within itself. So if I have faith in something, or if I believe in something, I'm putting myself, I'm taking my power and I'm putting it into an outside source. What I need is to know something.
There you go.
And I will ask questions, but it's only in the openness of asking questions that I will come to know something. And I think that's, we also were discussing this trend that I noticed, sort of this infantilization of our society, how it's sexy for women to appear childlike, and men are no longer men. They're sort of almost androgynous. They're man boys, and this is promoted through the media. And we seek an outside authority to solve our problems. We seek governments. We want the corporations. Yeah, we want intervention. In other words, we're putting our power outside of ourselves. I'll draw a parallel.
Can I make a comment to that, Michelle?
Sure, Go ahead, John.
Yeah, like we go right back to, the eternal babysitter, the TV. Every movie that we see, we think, they're out there when we see like superhero movies and all this kind of stuff. We're learning, out there how to save people. But what we're learning is we're always waiting for that superhero to come save us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Hey, brother, I am my own superhero. It's
exactly.
I'm my own doctor. Like I say, I get on the medical. I'm just going to banter for a second. Folks, I don't need permission, consent, or anything else to take care of myself. Guess what? That's called freedom with responsibility. I've actually delved into my educational processes, which are very, very simple. I didn't look to somebody else to... I don't... folks, I'm on no medications. I know we're going to get into the medication thing for a second. I know maybe some people think I need to be on them, but it's all right. I'm not. However, folks, this is really important. The chemicalization of the body. Let me tell you something. It's an adverse event. It's an adverse situation because, see, chemicals are not, let's say, conducive to the body, because if you take a look at the back of the medications, it'll always say these are some of the side effects or whatever. Folks, this is so the pharmaceutical companies have no created liability because you gave over willingly to take the statins, the cholesterol drugs, and it's all garbage, folks. The Creator knew what he did, but he knew what he was doing when he made all natural. Everything I speak of that I deal with is pretty much all natural, and it actually functions. It's functional. It works. There's so many different modalities, but we've learned to shut our mind off. What we've done is we put our responsibilities on somebody else, and you know what? When you do that, you've lost your power. So now I call it dictates. We've got this new cancer drug, folks. The cancer industry has gone backwards. It hasn't gone forwards. Project Pink and all this other crap. That's exactly what it is, folks. You've been sold a lie. Anyways, I'm going sideways here, folks.
I'd like to jump in, Peter, if I could.
No, go ahead.
I'd like to introduce the idea of there's a quote, and I'm totally going to mangle it because I don't have access to it right now, but it has to do with the system will be protected from within. In other words, those things that will protect the system are within the system. And I wanted to discuss that experiment. I think I might have seen it on TED Talks, TED.com. It had to do with, and it was a long time ago I saw it, so I don't remember the details, but it had to do with an experiment on conformity and conditioning through the generations to establish a system of control. What the experimenter did was they had a cage of rats, I think it was, and I think there was some sort of a step ladder in the middle of the cage, and at the top of the step ladder there was a door, and the rat, like a doorway, so the rat could escape if he had awareness of that doorway. Now, what happened was, and again, I might be getting all the details wrong, but I'm sort of making this up as I go along. It seems that the rat community were all somehow wired to get electroshocks if a rat went through the doorway. So there was suffering and fear tied in with freedom.
Right.
Big concept there.
Yep.
So what happens? So we have a few independent thinkers who want to get out of the cage and set out on their own. And the first one gets shocked, and everybody else gets shocked. Okay, lesson doesn't hold. Maybe another few try, everyone gets shocked. So the attempts will become fewer and fewer. By the second generation of rats, there are fewer attempts. By the third generation, and let me say, in the first and second generations, we have rats that start, if there's a rat who's trying to make his escape, the other rats will just they'll coerce him, they'll get him out of the way, they'll knock him off of the ladder. They don't want him escaping because they know that they're going to be experiencing an electroshock. So by the third generation, nobody is attempting to escape. They don't even look at the ladder, and they stay away from that door. So what has happened? A system of control has been established. It is a mental system of control. And this is what we are experiencing right now. This is the psychosis, I think, that we're all experiencing right now. We are literally prisoners of our minds.
Yep.
And I like to tie that. Go ahead.
It's like Alex Jones. He says there's a war on for your mind. He couldn't be more correct.
Yes.
However, his paradigm is sort of, he's uncovered a bunch of stuff. It's sort of a fear paradigm that I don't operate in. Like I say, folks, this is how the system keeps everybody down. And I call it the system of downs, literally, because this is how they keep you down. They keep your head down. You don't look up. You don't look around. You're the worm in the dirt. And just do what you're supposed to. Don't think. Don't ask questions. I've never fit that. Like I say, I've always been the square peg in the round hole, for lack of a better term.
And the good thing is you don't. The good thing is, Peter, you don't have to fit in. So that's good.
Yeah.
As for Alex, I love Alex Jones. I haven't heard him in a long time.
Right.
But I think what he's doing is he's at the awareness end of what we're doing. He's making people aware that just aware of what's going on. And for some people, that awareness will carry through, and they will realize that they have a choice. They can maybe do something.
Yep. without having a war.
Exactly.
We do have a caller in the queue, and I'll be glad to take it because we're getting on the upside of 8. If that caller's in the queue, Deatra, please let him through. I'll be glad to hear what they got.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
I'm the caller from last week, and that's very true, Michelle, about the experiment. I think you explained it quite well.
Oh, thank you.
It makes me think, I actually am in Winnipeg, where Dean Clifford was put in maximum security.
Mm-hmm. Is this Tanis?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Tanis.
Hi, everyone. For a month, and it was quite refreshing to hear on his blog talk radio piece he did, I guess, yesterday, I think, that he had a great time in jail. And I believe they put him in maximum security because he knew what he was doing, but I believe they put him in maximum security. Well, they did say because of his political beliefs, but I believe they put him in there to up the ante of the fear-mongering, right? Like, you stick your neck out, you stick up for your rights, you stand up for your rights, your inherent rights. Then you'll go to jail, you'll go to maximum security. And once you're free of that fear, then you can, I think, because that's always been the fear. Like in my case, they have made it against the law for my 16-year-old to freely associate with me. I have 2 other children, but even the fact that he's 16, he's considered an adult in some cultures, in some societies, and he cannot. It's against the law for him to contact his mother, phone his mother, visit his mother, be with his mother, choose to live with his mother. But he's considered by the law an age of consent where some older guy, and I'm talking about that specifically, could talk him into sex, sodomize him, and that guy would get off from charges of sodomy saying he consented. He's 16. It's so unbelievable. I've been threatened by that judge that made it against the law that if I it's all languaging, right? If I talk to my children, freely talk to my children, or go to see my children, I will be charged with contempt of court, which I already have been, with facing prison for what? Child abduction, my own child. So some stranger could talk him into sex, and I, his mother, who gave birth to him, could be charged with contempt of in Canada, with contempt of court, and go to prison.
Yep.
No, it's all the prison of the mind and fear-mongering with words. The thing is, though, they will enact it like they did with Dean Clifford, and they put him in jail. So once you're free of, if that's what you need to do, just like the civil rights movement, I mean, we look back at that time and go, oh, my God, blacks being segregated from the whites? Well, Jess and John and I have all been segregated and isolated from our children. That's even more core, more the essence of who we are, right?
Yep.
But blacks segregated from the whites, we look back and then go, oh, how horrifying, how inhumane. But they were still with their own children, their own families, but we see that as archaic, that could have happened. It's happening right now, folks, with new laws saying, hey, it's against the law for you to be with your own child.
And Tanis, there's also, it seems, the segregation, at the level of, awareness, media in terms of the cases that John and Jesse and maybe you are going through. There's the aspect of ostracization. Let's separate them from the group and point out how different and weird they are. And look, they're not conforming. Oh no, guys, we're all going to get electroshocks. All right, let's go beat up on John and Jesse and Tanis.
Right. But
it's like lepers. We're like, I've been treated. I have a few very faithful friends and some new friends through all of this, but mostly I've been shunned like a leper. the court order. I mean, especially by people in schools. Like, I used to have their children over. My children were their friends. With this court order, everybody forced marched like the rats in the cage to just, well, it could happen to us, or we can't associate with her. You know, we could be in contempt of court, you know, because, and fear, just fear. I had people just never talk to me again.
Well,
because they were...
let me share something with you. It happened to me as a child. It's called character assassination, now
right.
you got the bad actors doing it. So I'm going to share a little story with you. When I was younger, in my youth, I stepped in pretty quick, pretty young. I smoked me a little weed. You know, it's all good. I was in 8th grade. I got my game on, my groove on real early, and all the other parents didn't want their kids hanging around with Peter because they considered him a pothead. I mean, I went through my transition, got past it, but it's amazing how casting a stone of dispersion across the bow of another, because the behavior becomes an adverse thing. But now here's the funny part, folks. By the time all my friends got to their junior and senior year, I was so past smoking the dope. You know, I went in, I went out, I got past it. But the same ones that the parents were castigating me, now they were in the mix, and they thought they were, hey, Pete, you want to hit this? I said, man, that was so 4 years ago. Get your mind right, bro. You know, I mean, see, so I went through my crap, but I did it in 8th grade. I started quick, and I got in, I got out, I found myself, I got my mind right. But this is what I'm trying to say. Is the court system, just like with Brother Johnny and Jacinth, they will do character assassination in the paper, and it's all BS. It's all smoke and mirrors, but the people actually buy the BS they read. They actually buy the propaganda they see on TV. Oh, it must be true if they said it. Folks, that's called marginalizing by character assassination. They only know how to throw stones. I mean, it's like dealing with a bottom-feeding attorney, and he's saying, oh, he's a sovereign citizen. You know, by mere classification from the words of a clown at the circus, it has validity and weight. He's just a bad actor looking for a hypothecation event. He's just looking to narrate my estate. Anyways, folks, this is where I live. Anyways, we're going to have some fun. But
that's absolutely. If you don't mind me adding,
sure.
That's absolutely true, because this is where we have also a very big judicial review going on because of some very, very seedy conduct on the part of a woman lawyer who became a judge when she knew that she was posted on a public porn site, a very, very hardcore porn site eliciting sex with black men, really to be raped, and S&M stuff. Now, she knew this was out on a porn site posted by her husband, who she's still with. He's a family law lawyer, actually was in my case against me, and got my kids away from me. This deviant posted his wife, if you want to call her that, on a porn site for 2 years, he admitted to, at this public review here in Winnipeg, and she's still, with the entire legal community and judicial community here, became a judge of children, so-called best interest, determined by a woman or a man sitting in that position with that title of judge. Her husband's still a lawyer in this family court house where she's a judge.
Well, the whole point is this. This is the whole point.
But just wait. I just want to say one more thing. So those of us that have been affected by these people, due to the cover-up in the legal judicial community of those, the power elite, right? If we complain, we're considered disgruntled litigants. So I lost my children. There's another woman there that tried to get standing. She lost her son to this judge. My children were taken from me through, I think, the involvement of this lawyer. And essentially, that did this, was completely deviant and got off with less punishment than me for doing nothing. And we're disgruntled litigants. Litigants. Well, they should be protected because, hey, guess what? That's their private life. And it's none of our business what a judge is doing in her private life.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Janice, I think we have to go to a break soon. Do you want to hold on
until
we get back?
Okay.
Okay. You want to take it, Peter?
Yeah, it just comes down to black is white, white is black, everything's upside down, folks. Here's some irrevocable proof. So, folks,
Peter, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Thanks. I'm here.
Very good. Anyways, folks, we bring a lot of diversity onto this show because we're trying to point things out. We're trying to give everybody a little bit of direction of flow in their minds. The falsities that are being sold, i.e., as necessary and all this other stuff. Folks, where I come from, in my mind, it's do no harm. That's where I stand. As long as I do not affect another party in any way, shape, or form or cause duress, there's no issue. They create a chasm, i.e., they create a hypothecation event under the guise of that something was wrong. Well, what's next? Banana eating on Tuesdays and Thursdays? I mean, I make a joke about it, and I sort of chuckle about it. But, folks, that's what it's really come down to. I mean, they've created more rules and regulations for the rats in the cage, or i.e. their chattel property. That's what they classify us as. Incompetents, infants, imbeciles, decedents, and, I mean, they got all these words for us. I mean, I read this stuff. I can't believe that this is the way they go. We sign documents as dead entities. They're using the res. It's in black ink. I read it in their own code. It specifically states to sign, when you sign everything in black. It's ironic because I had a little, with a notary, I was sharing some information, and I did my seal in red. And I said, I bet you've probably never seen that before. I was trying to basically assuage her false perceptions. But anyways, I gave her a little education. I said, do you understand why you use everything in black ink? And she goes, no. Well, I gave her clarity. I told her why they do everything in black ink, because it's a hypothecation event. They want unencumbered signatures. Look at the word signature, sin, S-I-N. Take the G off of it. It's silent. You're sinning yourself to death. It's like I say, folks, it's literally just hypothecation events. Anyways, we're going to change that. We can change that. Anyways, I was just going there because, I mean, these little nuances that I speak of, I mean, I have millions of them. I've been, digging in for about 25 years, and I just keep uncovering more and more and more. It's a nasty-ass onion, and it's rotten all the way to the core. And these are the ones who think somebody died and left them king. Well, where I live, I am my king. I'm not the king. You're not the king of me. You don't have my power. You don't have my consent. You don't have jurisdiction. But I don't go argue it. I just set the standard. See, because I know who I am and I know what my status is, they don't want you to know who you are and what your status is. They want you to stay dead in the head so you can just become a mere hypothecation event to keep this false system together. Anyways, there's a lot of diversions out there, and I don't want to get into those diversions, but there are a bunch of them, and they're giving my brothers and sisters false hope. See, that sort of really makes me angry. So I want to cover it just for a second. I really need to, because to not speak up and say anything is I'm complicit. It's like misprision of a felony. What misprision of a felony is having full knowledge of a bad act being done and then being a party to it and not saying anything. Well, folks, I'm not complicit. I'm not going to be binded up by misprision of felony. I know most of you wouldn't even know how to file misprision of felony, but that's all right. The point I'm trying to get is I lost my train of thought. I guess I go in so fast I forgot. Hey, folks, it happens. Welcome to my world. Michelle, where was I going? You reaching my brain?
I'm sorry, and I was thinking about the actual hypothecation event itself, and I was we were on the topic. Interesting. I want to talk to you about this after. We were on the topic about how others are leading people down the path of fight, and how you and Michael and the systems that you've created aren't at war. In other words, you're not contributing to that which already exists. You're eliminating it. Do you want to get into the topic of that?
Well, in 1 second. Now that I got my mind back, it left the playing field for a second. It just came back into full play. Folks, I'm going to mention OPPT one more time, and this is the reason. Okay, I dug into their documents. I broke them down. This is what I do. I'm educated enough to where I actually can assess information, break it down, and I understand the difference between statutory law, common law, admiralty law, UCC law. Folks, you can't mix oil and water, first of all. Second of all, on these documents, they're going to war. That's battling. See, now you become a belligerent under the NDAA, especially if you're a signed-up slave on the plantation, i.e. a 14th Amendment citizen slave. You are on the rolls or records as a voter. See, you don't have the right to challenge anything if you're part of the body politic. I cover this over on my site, and I guess I don't have to do another show on this specific issue. It's really simple to divest yourself from the body politic, but because your vote doesn't count, it's all smoke and mirrors. But let's get back to OPPT for 1 minute. I'm not putting them down. I've tried corresponding with these folks. I've reached out. I've sent them emails, and it seems that they're missing in action, for lack of a better term, because they are binding my brothers and sisters up. So I'm going to speak the truth, okay? And if you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Dig into the same documents I've been reading and go ahead and tell me where I'm incorrect, because I assess things from where I stand, and I'm the proofs guy. I bring this forward, but that's what happens when you dig in for 25 years and actually study negotiable instruments laws, the Code of Federal Regulations, the statutes at large, implementing regulations. You actually get some clarity of thought. You start pulling in all these information and say, okay, this doesn't fit, this does. Folks, I believe this is where I'm coming from, and hey, cast me down the river. I don't really care. I think it's just one massive diversion to rape some more estates. That's what I think. I think they're going to make victims out of the masses. So my brothers and sisters on the OPPT side of the fence, come to my house. Share with me what you know. Let's get this on. Let's put it to bed, because the capacity that they're running in at this point in time, I think there's going to be a lot of fallout. And you know what? It's not going to be positive, and I could be dead wrong. I'm from the Show Me State too. Prove me wrong. So yeah, I broke down the documents. I actually read them. I actually read every darn one of them, and I said, okay, this fits, this don't, and I compare notes. I have some deep other diggers like me and brothers throughout the country and throughout the world, and we compare notes. This is what we do. So that's called deductive reasoning. So when you have the fundamental understanding of these different modalities of law, then you can put two and two together. So this is where I live, and this is why I've exposed it. So you know what? I'm not bad-mouthing them. I'm just saying either stand back in a neutral position until you have the facts. Do not use something you don't know what you're doing. You want to get trampled? You want to be getting the train running you over? This is what they like. This is the indifference in the system. They don't care whether you know or not. Well, I was just following, like following orders. Well, no, you're following. If you don't understand what you're doing, don't do it. It's really that simple. It's like that's why I set up shop over at Privates.me. I can't talk about the red box too much over here, but I can really talk about it over there, and I can give you fundamental understanding so you have clarity of mind, and now you have you're no longer a clouded mind. See, power comes from knowledge, knowing. Just like Michelle said, you want to know. Well, that's where I live. So come on over, and I'm going to show you how to know that everything that's being perpetrated on you is, and you'll be in the know, and you won't be scammed anymore. It's Tricks is for Kids Hour, and you can divest yourself from this total sham once you have knowledge. Knowledge is power. So this is where I live. This is what I want to show. But as far as this OPPT stuff, that's my 2 cents. I hope not to broach this subject anymore, but what I'm seeing I'm not liking. And the people that are supposed to be stepping up into the fray, they've all been missing in action. So you know what? Hey, for my OPPT brothers and sisters who are pushing and I call it an agenda because that's what it looks like to me, hey, come over and prove Brother Peter wrong. I'll share the love. Let's go to ground together. Let's fix this thing, because I don't want my brothers and sisters going down the wrong path and then having to try and pick up the pieces as they're busted in motel hell, i.e. the Gray Bar Motel, because that's what's going to happen, and it is what's happening. So anyways, not trying to show fear. I'm just showing proofs. I understand what I read, and if you don't understand what you read, you better not be using them. Anyways, that's enough. I'm going to put that to bed. I didn't mean to rant, but, it hurts my heart. And we come back to the heart, folks. Just like that last song that just played, One Man, One Heart. Folks, if you don't get your mind right, you don't get your heart right, the diversions are everywhere, and it's going to be pain multiplied by 10, and it doesn't have to be. So I'm just trying to give people clarity. Anyways, Michelle, give me some feedback.
Yeah, it's I think we were discussing this earlier about the stream.
Yeah.
Life is a stream, and when I realize that I'm actually struggling to swim upstream, I realize that I have a choice. And when I surrender to that, I realize that the stream will take me to where it is I am going anyway. But when I see others who are struggling upstream, I can wave at them, I can smile. I'm not a good swimmer. It's not my place to head over to them and change their mind. I might drown if I engage in a struggle with them to try and show them my way. And all I can do is do what it is that I am doing and know that I am contributing to what we're soaking in.
Yep.
the ethos, the zeitgeist, the ether, and that what I put out in terms of my thoughts, my intentions, my speech, my feelings, my actions, I know that I'm contributing to what we're soaking in. So it's frustrating to see other people struggling, because that's suffering. But it's not my place, and
well,
at first I told you the story of a few years ago. I was doing some energy healing, and I think that was the story I told you when I first called your show. Only I think 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And I was telling you that I couldn't even explain to people what it was that I was doing. And because I couldn't explain it adequately to them, they couldn't understand. And because they couldn't understand, they couldn't give consent.
A clouded mind says no.
Right. So I would give a few people sessions, and there are some people who are resistant to healing. Their suffering is their most prized possession. Somehow it has become their personality. It is who they are. It has become part of themselves, and they don't wish to divest themselves of that. And it is not my place to take away that thing which a person
holds fast to or clings to.
Holds fast to, and it is their most prized possession. Who am I to take that away from someone? Who am I? All I know is what I know, and other people are on their paths, and we're all on different paths. It just seems that we're all on our way home.
Yep.
Some of us don't know that. Who am I to even give comments on that? Can I switch topics a little bit, Peter?
Sure.
Okay, you use the word hypothecation a lot. I have a French background. My first language is English, but I'm bilingual, and hypothèque in French, that's the French word for mortgage.
Right.
And mortgage is combined. It's two French words. Mort is dead.
Yep.
And gage is bet. It can also mean a pledge. So a mortgage is basically a bet that you're going to die before you pay off that farm, or before you pay off that house of yours that you've just bought. So it's interesting that in English, mortgage is composed of two French words, so that we don't know what it means. And, I don't know, just an observation. It's in the language, these spells.
Yep.
And it all has to do with just having an awareness of these things, holding an open question, just looking at the world in a different way.
Yep.
I don't know. Am I spinning off? What do you think?
No, this is good. It's sort of like looking through a prism. It reflects different angles and stuff, so you see something differently the way you didn't see it before. I think we need to hold things up to the light a little bit more effectively to see things through the prism. But anyways, it's there's a lot of stuff happening, folks. And anyways, direction of flow. I always talk about direction of flow. Everything is energy. Like I say, they use these words in the whole system. System of downs, I call it. And I, even on my medical talks, I talk about the cellular structure in the body and the intracellular, how it reacts with synergy when the electromagnetic flow is not impeded. There we go with that word again. Folks, and this whole system, they look in, if you look at the words, charge, discharge, I mean, it's all
circuit
electromagnetic.
Court?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a circuit court?
Circuit, right.
Why is it called a circuit court? I always wondered that, and I've asked lawyers, and they can't tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, no, and, they don't teach them that. They just teach them to put you up
procedure.
On the next... Yeah, right. You're right. It's just procedure, and that's why when Jacinth and Johnny were talking about the judge and all the other chicken poops that were in the little peons, the up and coming crown prosecutors. Folks, look at that. Look at these words. Just like they're presenting you, representing you, they use this vernacular. It has. It's part of their spells. Look at we learn how to do spelling, and they get you in the spell. Anyways, I'm not going to go deep on that. I just want to keep it sort of simple. It's all in the words. It's all in consent. It's all in your body language. It's how we give over. Everything we do is requires a consent. They're looking you to give over the other part of you. Your res, R-E-S. Look at the word res. It's your energy. They're taking your energy flow by you giving over via signature. They always want a signature in those courts. I got a special signature for them. Anyways, this is called a seal. Anyways, I'll put a little blood on a document for them, show them some love, some real love. Folks, this is what I'm saying. We're not supposed to think like this. They literally had us go to sleep in our minds and not look at these. And none of this stuff is complex, but it is convoluted because they've hidden everything behind a lie. See, that I call a nefarious act. There's no full disclosure on anything. This is the game. They didn't tell you that your mama gave you over at birth. They didn't tell you became a hypothecation event. They didn't tell you after you didn't come forward after 25 years that they were creating a salvage bond on you. I mean, folks, this is where I go. This is where I mean, I don't know why I know all this stuff. I just started looking beyond the pale, and I said, something stinks in Denmark and every other country as well. So, folks, you know what? It's not the paradigm shift can be had by those with the open minds. If you come over to my house, you got to come over to my house because this is what I'm going to go. This is where I go deep. But it's not hard. They're easy concepts to understand. From the medical side of the house, everything I speak of, I can give you proofs because, like I say, if I can't give you a proof, I shut my mouth. Just like my stupid. I actually had somebody beat my brakes off about my documents on my student loan return. He didn't look at the document where I got the full refund. He looked at the order of my documents, said the timeline doesn't fit. Folks, you talk about splitting hairs. See, now that's a confused mind because he couldn't see the forest through the trees. He didn't see the success. All he was seeing was he was creating a chasm. He was creating a barrier in his brain, and he was splitting hairs about the mundane. This is what they got all us doing, i.e. our world. They got you splitting hairs, and you can't see the forest through the trees, and it's right there in front of your face. So, anyways, Anyways.
Yeah, Peter, I was just going to say it's the bureaucratic mindset. It's procedure, and you went against procedure because you had one document dated a certain date, and there was an earlier document, but it came after the first one, and that's all wrong. So.
Yeah, well, it was all wrong because my daughter scanned it in wrong. Oh yeah, I had to beat her brakes off for that one.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, folks. This is what I'm trying to say. The point is this: I had the DOJ documents in there. I had the letter from Wyndham in there, and the timeline does match up. See, now that's a problem. This gentleman didn't have the skills of deductive reasoning. Oh, okay. This is the first one I see. Okay, somebody must have just scanned it out of order. No, instead of using deductive reasoning, he decided to create a chasm by sending me a proverbial email. And
but Peter,
there we go.
He can't see. He doesn't have the eyes to see what it is that you're presenting. It has to do with the collective hypnosis that we're under. Because we are being hypnotized, and I'm talking, the signal that you receive from your huge screen television to program you, to all different media, to everything. It's everywhere. We are swimming in electromagnetic frequencies, and here's the thing: the brain doesn't know the difference between what is happening on a flat screen in front of it and what is actually reality, what is really happening. So when I feed my mind with the violence and depravity and inversions of all that is beautiful and true, then that is what I will. Then I'm taking that in. I'm feeding my mind with that. What you are, what you eat, but you also consume ideas. You put your focus on ideas, and you become those ideas. And this is the strength of the mind that most people are not aware of.
Yep.
We allow these things to happen because we don't know that we have a choice. But once we know that we have a choice, we become very much more selective about what we consume, about what we think, about what we choose to put our focus on.
Yeah, well, it's like garbage in, garbage out, GIGO. What I put in my body, and I'm in a transformation on my body as we speak. I know some know it. I'm feeding the machine correctly. I double up of my meals are actually, dense nutritional powder, hemp powder, which has no fillers. It's a protein source, so I can feed my machine and build it. When I feed it right, it grows. It really grows. But folks, if you're eating GMO homogenized garbage, you feed your body garbage, and it's not going to grow. It's not going to. It might grow bigger, but not in the capacity you were looking to go. So, folks, it's a shift in the mind on like I say, what you feed your mind is an outward reflection of your body. To thy own self be true. So if you're feeding your mind garbage day in, day out, i.e. porn, other, modalities that bind you up, or you're just watching the sports, and, folks, all these are is diversions. That's all they are, is diversions. And it's not going to fulfill your soul or your heart.
But they're also very, they are diversions, but it's also very important to recognize that there is meaning in that. And that when I watch an act of violence, I have given my consent to that in the etheric. And because I have watched it, because I have put my consciousness, my awareness on that act of violence on TV, in the etheric, I have given my consent. Yeah. Unless I am aware that I am watching it, and I, mentally I say I don't agree to that. So it's insidious. It all starts with awareness.
I'm trying to show who we are, folks. because we all have these. We all have a spirit. We all are. We have specific hearts. So I'm trying to help us find that pulse. This is how I measured a pulse on myself. When I read and I delve into information to get my heart right, I get clarity. It shows me who I am, where I stand as a man, and for you women, as well. This is where we got to get our spirit right, folks. This is a collective mindset coming together. I call it the paradigm shift because it takes a collective mindset to come together to upend this nefarious garbage, because otherwise most of us will lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the freaking boneyard, not being the creative part of who we are supposed to be, to arise to being the best we can be. They don't want individuality. They don't want you to create. They don't want you to look within inside yourself. They just want you to be a hypothecation event, and that's the sad part of this whole system. We've gotten binded up in it. We've quit looking beyond the pale. Well, folks, that's not where I live, and this is what I'm trying to bring about, a change. This is called the shift. Michelle is well aware I'm having a shift. John, all people that are in my nucleus, they're well aware that Peter's not the same Peter he was 6 months ago. Folks, that's when introspection comes into play, and you actually look inside your heart and find out where it is. And when you find it, it's a beautiful thing, because now I'm sort of living life on purpose, and I'm going out of my way to interact with others, to do, in effect, a positive on their lives in any way possible, in any way capacity. And folks, it makes you feel real good inside when you get back into the real world, because we've been spectators for a long time. Anyways, Michelle, on that, I'll segue to you.
Sure. You and I were discussing, I think it was yesterday, about how life has just everything now has a dollar value ascribed to it, and how we saw this sort of as the inversion of things, how money has become the controller. I want to get to this book again by Paul Levy, and I've only been skimming through it again very sporadically. I want to read it again thoroughly. It's called Wetiko, and he discusses the economy. So I'd just like to read a passage from that. We live in a world where money materializes simply by decree. And in brackets here he has fiat. So that's our fiat currency, where money materializes simply by decree of an elite cabal who can exchange the tokens of value they have conjured up for the time and natural resources of everyone else. The economy is basically a legitimized counterfeiting operation. They use their military and police state enforcement resources to ensure that others cannot accumulate and circulate capital outside of their system. As if that isn't bad enough, in a further diabolic sleight of hand, this virtual fiat currency, backed by nothing real and having no intrinsic value in and of itself, is then equated with debt, thus making it worse than nothing. This total inversion, and here's one of my favorite words, this total inversion of our concept of value itself is a glaring symbol in our midst primal screaming that there is something terribly amiss with our financial system. So that's what it is. It's basically a control mechanism to invert our true natures. Think of how many times we do things for money that we wouldn't ordinarily do. Oh, I'm doing this job, the money is good. Or, I can't do that, I don't have the money. It's an inversion of what we would be doing ordinarily outside of this system. And, I would posit that the control system is a financial system, and it's on so many levels. It's mental, it's a spiritual control system, but the financial and economic one, look, we're all in it. we're soaking in it, Peter.
Yep. Yeah, I used to be soaking in the pool when I was with the Navy. I was always soaking in it. Folks, like I say, your value comes from you, your substance comes from you, and they pretty much diverted it from you. But look at the word you. Matter of fact, Brother Michael and I had a beautiful conversation yesterday. I was sitting out on the front porch. It was a beautiful day, and I was... my mind just goes off on these tangents. It's hard to believe, right? And we were talking about you. When they get you in the court, they're pointing at you. They're saying you. Folks, look at the word, Y-O-U, and then let's do a / and E-W-E. You're a sheep. You're literally a sheep. They're using these words, and we don't know how in the capacity that they're binding us up with them. Anyways, it's just sort of interesting that my mind actually starts compressing information and finding these tie-ins that aren't mundane. They're not smoke and mirrors.
No.
But nobody's looking. They're in our face on multiple levels. So.
And we're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to know because that would upend the entire system. So long as we are all in agreement with this system, then it will exist. When we are no longer in agreement with this system, it will not exist.
Yeah. Well,
that's the power of the mind.
Yeah, the irony is I said, I am, you know what I'm saying? And a buddy of mine was using, he created documents, and he was a spiritual man. He wasn't a religious man, but he was a spiritual man. And I read his documents, and I didn't understand 7 years ago why the wording was the way it was. I didn't get it. I hadn't had my paradigm shift yet. It was sort of Greek to me, even though I was, pretty fluent on all the other issues of the day. But now I really get it because my eyes are wide open, and it takes what it takes to get to the other side and get your I call it your V8 moment. I punch myself in the head. You know, remember that commercial V8, the drink, the tomato juice or whatever. Yeah, I could have had a V8. It just comes to you. Well, like I say, I think when you dig in long enough, hard enough, whatever, and then start pulling in all the loose ends, and that's what's giving me clarity. Like I say, I've delved into the financial systems. I've delved into the hypothecation events of the whole system in Big Pharma, FDA, the medical establishment. Folks, follow the proverbial money trail, and you will get total clarity on a different level. Well, if you go over to private.me, that's what I'm talking about over there. And I got a plethora of stuff on my education page, which is 100% free. Folks, I'm trying to give you your shift, but you can't get your shift until you come in the door. You have to take an action. You have to do something on your own behalf. I can't carry everybody's water, but you know what? I'm going to lead you to the pond where the buckets are, and it's going to be an easy event. It's not going to be a complex one. I've created a portal for everybody to get their educational learn-on in a condensed and easy, pretty much an exponential learning curve. In other words, it's going to take you a very short time because you're not having to go to look in 5,000 places. I put it in and installed it at these portals for a reason, and it's direction of flow. This is where my brain lives. I was in the military for 10 years. I have excellent direction of flow skills. When I created formats and educational formats to train my brothers in arms, and I would break it down into systems of digestible bites, and I've covered this on many calls before. I live in digestible bites. I don't want you to eat the whole cow in one sitting. I eat an elephant one scoop at a time. But it's not a hard trudge, folks. It's actually very simple. All you have to do is have the will to want to and come on over, and I promise you, step on in, and the water is fine, and you're going to find what you're looking for. Anyways, enough on that for me.
Yeah, for people to first know to have an awareness that they have a choice, that you are providing information and that they can look at your information. But yeah.
I'd like to make a comment there too.
We were also go ahead.
Just wanted to say, my experience with Peter and stuff like that, and this information and stuff like that. Peter is the type of fellow that does break it down for you. You know what I mean? You get a lot of these groups and stuff like that you're just like overwhelmed, you know what I mean? How do I do this and who's going to help me? And, you join these sites and stuff like that. And I'll say that about Pete. He's right there that, you don't understand this? Well, then look at this, you know what I mean? He breaks it down so it's simple, stupid,
Yeah.
And gives you a real good foundation to how to operate in the private. So I just wanted to give those little 2 cents worth.
Yep. Thank you, Brother John.
And Peter, I wanted to just contribute this. People will understand what you're saying at different levels.
Yep.
Not everyone is going to understand the level that you're coming from, that your spirit is in line with your mind, in line with the actions that you're doing with the website and the documents that you're providing people. Not everyone is going to understand that. Somebody will hear and they will understand at a certain level, and other people will hear and they will totally get it.
Yep. Well, that's why I posted everything. We have actual MP3s, and we actually have printed instructions so everybody can follow the bouncing ball. But you actually have to print the directions and read them. And see, when I say everybody needs to carry their own water, Michael and I did this most incredible, beautiful thing. We did the heavy lifting. We created the package, and we're giving it away for free. We're not about the money. So, all these people that are whining about the $120, you know what? You got some more pain to go through. It's sad that I have to say that, because where the real deal is, see, because I got to keep my lights on. I have electricity bills. I have all this other stuff. So your little $120 stipend that you give over to being a member on the site, first of all, you get an educational paradigm unparalleled to none. Nobody's holding your hands out there, folks, and they're not going to give you this information. And they're not going to talk to you the way I'm going to talk to you. They're not going to give you the proofs. They're not going to walk you through step by step. What they're going to do is they're going to sell you something for $3,000 and say you're on your own. Good luck. We'll catch you around. We appreciate your donation. See, folks, I don't live there. I'm an educator. So you got to come to my house to get educated. Because remember, I don't want you using my documents if you don't have the capacity to get your learn on and be. I always talk about this. You have to be competent at your level and it's not a hard pull, folks. It's very, very simple. That's why I put together MP3s so you can actually listen to audios on why and how and whatever. Last Thursday I broke it down and went specifically into the meat and potatoes of the documents. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Like all this OPPT stuff, they don't know what they're doing, and they're doing it. And you know what? They're gonna have issues. So, folks, the whole point of setting up the $120 a year for those who are having an issue with it, you know what? A man is worthy of his hire. And I'm not asking you for $300 for the package. I'm asking you so that you can keep my lights on, so I can keep doing what I do. Because I'm going into Australia next. I'm going into the UK. I've got Italy on my bubble, and I've also got Germany on my bubble. Because this applies to every IMF-run country, because it's all under the fiat banking system. Folks, we have the right to remove the presumption, but because you don't know who you are, you don't know your status, they're going to beat your brakes off until your butt falls off. So when the pain threshold becomes so high, then you're going to get your mind right, but until then, you're compromised. I'm going to show you how not to be compromised, and because I had one guy post a beautiful little stipend on his, he obviously doesn't know how the money system works. He says, I'm not going to even get into it. I'm not going to give into the negative. Folks, if it resonates, come on over. If it doesn't, stand fast, and your learning curve will be exponentially, your pain curve will be exponentially increased, because you don't have to go through it. You don't. Folks, it's a done deal. I'm telling you what I talk about, what I speak. I'm in the know. I can prove everything I say. But if you're not willing to take a look, then you have a problem.
Peter, I'd like to jump in here. This is what people are not used to, and this is unusual because you're not selling yourself. You're not selling what you and Michael have put together. It's not about money for you guys. I know you two men, and you are full on in to what you're doing, and it's not about the money. Yes, we're in a period of transition, and the membership is $120 for a 1-year membership. That's $10 a month. It's a few cups of coffee every month. But you guys are not in it for the money. I know that. You guys would have, like, I don't know, a private island with, a swimming pool full of, there you go.
Yeah.
But this is the paradigm that people are coming from, because this is what they're used to. Oh yeah, what's the catch? They're used to the bait and switch. They're used to getting nothing for a lot of money. They're used to trickery and deceit. And I know that you guys are not standing in that. You guys are standing in the truth and in the power of what it is that you have created. And I know, Peter, that sometimes your frustration is that people don't get it, that they're not coming over. But, a lot of people are. A lot of people are. Yeah. It's just those people who will stand in negativity and doubt and question your stuff. That's what I'm saying is, you're not selling anything to anybody. You are not twisting anyone's arm. You are not asking people to believe that your things work. You are not asking people to have faith in you. You are not asking people to lead, to follow you, and you will lead them. And this is the en français on dit hic. This is that's the catch. That's the catch. People aren't used to that. So once they realize that you guys are for real, and that we're doing this, basically this is a full-time job now, and this is all that we are doing, then maybe people will realize that, okay, maybe they've got, I don't know, help me out here. I'm spinning out. I'm spinning, Peter.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to, I can't make the decision for you, but I can lead you. And like I say, if it resonates with you, then run with it. If it doesn't, stand fast. Do absolutely nothing. You have the right to be in indecision. But when you make that choice, folks, you're making the choice to basically keep yourself open to, let's say, deleterious effects that could come down the road. I proved myself. I posted my documents. If that's not good enough, I guess, you know what, then everybody needs to suffer a little bit more pain, because all I'm bringing is the truth. And like I say, once you come to my buffet table over at my house and you get to eat there, folks, you're going to enjoy what's coming down, because like I say, nobody's going to tell you what I'm telling you. There's no magic wand. So for all my brothers and sisters looking for a magic wand, like OPPT, that's not it. Sorry, wrong door. And you know what? This is what makes me crazy, is because the diversion. It's just another diversion. See, because nobody will dig deep into the documents and actually break them apart like I just did. And I posted this to other parties out there. I posted it over to the parties that are doing the OPPT, i.e., the upper crust of the pecking order, and I can't seem to get a response from anybody. So see, silence through acquiescence makes me believe that I'm dead nuts right, and now you fail to respond, because I've been asking, but you're not telling. See, because when I ask a question, Michelle, I already know the answer. That's the point, because I don't ask questions I don't already know the answers for. Matter of fact, I have one lady, the third-party debt lady. She goes, she was an attorney. She goes, did I lose everybody?
No, I'm still here. I heard a weird click.
Yeah, I did too.
Is John still there?
John,
are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, John is there. All right, go ahead, Peter.
I lost my spot.
You were saying the lady about the lady with the third-party debt collector.
Debt attorney. Hey, folks, I was having some fun. Hey, see, this is what knowledge and power does. I went over to her front door. I VOD'd her, verification of debt. She had 30 days. She failed to respond. And then I laid on her a little bit about misprision of a felony, and then I started asking her questions, and she goes to me, well, it's just commerce. Folks, look at the definition of what commerce is. It's intercourse, and that's the whole point, and that's what I told her. I said, do you know what that definition is? This is an attorney, folks. My brothers that were sitting around the table, my pipe fitter brothers, they said, damn, Peter's bringing it. And now this attorney, folks, I wasn't trying to hurt her feelings. I was just trying to get her mind right, because she was working for, like I say, she was perpetrating a fraud upon Brother Peter, and he didn't like it. So he asked her the right questions. And when I asked her the right questions, she was asking me if I was an attorney. I said, no, I'm better than an attorney. My hands aren't tied. And she basically just went silent. I said, don't worry, sweetheart. I'm going to take care of this the way I take care of it, and you're in the mix, and you have a great day. And then folks, go see my documents. It's with the Department of Justice responding back to these folks. And you got to love it when they return all your funds after they stole them. So anyways, folks, hey, maybe I know nothing. Maybe I know something. I don't know. Come on over and find out. And by the way, if you haven't come over to the cover page at privatist.me, I have a 12-minute video that will give you the nickel tour, literally in 12 minutes, and it has a tie-in with all the bouncing balls. Go watch it. You can get on the page and watch it for free, and it's posted at Freedom Reigns US as well over on our page there. And go watch the 12-minute video, folks. I'll tell you what, I sort of nip it in the bud, very, very short order, and you get the specifics when you come over to my house. So if it resonates, come on in. The water's fine. If it doesn't, stand fast and do absolutely nothing. They'll be glad to make you a hypothecation event, i.e. steal your substance. And it's all over a fraud.
Let's just spell out for the listeners, privatist.me. It's privatis.me.
Yep. And it's also posted on, in the spirit of things, there's, you can drag and paste or whatever, copy and paste the HTTP privatist.me if you don't know how it's spelled, and just post it in the browser. And it's also on the Blog Talk US page, which all you got to do is click on a button and it'll take you directly in. So, folks, I'm trying to open this door for everybody. I'm pretty much gone international, and I'm not the shy, quiet type. Nobody's ever accused me of that, and I'm not politically correct. So, hey, I'm going to share the love with you, folks, and I really mean it. I'm going to share the love. You know what? My heart is huge, and I do this for you. I'm not doing it for me. I've already taken care of my own business. I've already put this beast to bed on a different level. So, I'm just trying to give you direction of flow, folks. That's all it is. I'm trying to share the love. So come on in and get the love bomb. It's a beautiful thing. And like I say, if you think it's all about the money, then you need to stand fast and go pay somebody, some attorney that'll be glad to suck your pockets dry, or i.e. drag you into the system of records under the guise of a lie. And it is 100% fraud, folks. They already got paid once it goes to third-party land. Every damn one of them. So, just go watch the video. It explains exactly what I'm trying to cover. It's in 12 minutes, condensed, easy to follow. My brother Zach, big shout-out to Verdict Productions.
Verdict Productions, yeah.
Yep. He put it together. He made Pig's Ear into gold because all he had was Brother Peter blathering on for 12 minutes, and he tied in all the concepts to literally follow the bouncing ball and get the memo in short order. I'm beside myself because I don't know how he did it, but he got the concepts and he put them all together so you all understand, folks. That's all we're about. We're starting small, third-party debt. We're going into IRS land here next, starting next week, because we want to share the love, folks. We're not warring. We know how to go forward on a different level. If this might have some validity to you, come on over. And if it doesn't, stand fast, and they'll be glad, like I say, to continue to make you a hypothecation event and pretty much probate your estate until there's nothing left. Anyways, enough of that. Folks, I don't mean to rant, but I always rant. I can't help myself, folks. It's the way I'm wired. Hey, but this is how I show my love. Michelle, hey, it's just the way I am.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. Anyways, folks, we thank you. We're getting down to the wire here, and I'm glad you people come over and share my pool with me. We don't need the floaties in my pool. It hurts my heart to see what's going on out there. Anyways,
it's okay, Peter.
It's
okay.
I'm just trying to reduce the pain for all y'all.
Anyways, I know, and you're doing a beautiful job, and we love you for it.
Okay.
So I think we can say goodnight.
Yep.
This has been a really great show. Lots of different topics, lots of information. John, thank you very much. We're looking forward to seeing and hearing from you your next steps with you and Jesse and what's going on with your court case here. And Peter, we've got a show next Saturday.
Yep. Hey,
this
folks,
coming Saturday.
If you like it now, you're going to like it better on Saturday, folks. It'll be round 2 with Brother Peter, and we'll be delving a little bit into the curriculum as well, and we're going to keep this train moving forward, folks. We love you, and we're going to see you come on back Saturday, and have a great night. Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, John. John has left the room. Elvis has left the building, I think. Anyways, y'all have a great night, and we'll catch you Saturday. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.